Good morning. Welcome and welcome back. I just got through filming my video where I opened up this Happy Mail. It was from Lauralie Chouplatour, and we had done a 20-page swap with Junk Journal Wonderland. And so I did a video unboxing the paper, so you can catch that one. I'll link it in the description box below. But then I started she had partially decorated this envelope. And so I'd started to finish collaging over the front. And then I thought, oh, I should be filming this. So I thought I would turn it on and just finish it off with you. So I've added a few pieces. Actually, these floral pieces around the edge were a little note that she wrote me on a little notepad. And so I just took the decorative parts off and started it on the outside edges. And then I added a few pieces of book page, a piece of music paper. This is from the same piece. It was some paper that I got for using at my niece's wedding. And then a bit of map. So I'm going to continue to collage the front, and I just thought I would talk a little bit about this whole concept of reusing the envelopes. I do it all the time. If I get a very plain envelope especially, I'll just collage over top of it and use it for Happy Mail. I have plenty. I probably have 500 envelopes that I could use. So it's not like I need to do it. I want to do it. So I do it. And so here I'm just adding a little piece of map. It's actually from a piece of the States. I like those maps that you can kind of they're like a topographical, you can see where the mountains are and where the grasslands are and things like that. But I just thought I would talk about how this idea of a traveling envelope. So I did note that it was $6.85 in Canadian money to send this within Canada. And this had over 20 sheets. It was fairly thick. Not very heavy, but fairly thick. It wasn't just like 6 pieces of paper. And, so for that amount of money, $6.85, she sent me quite a bit of stuff. And if you're sending stuff out of your own stash, it really doesn't cost you anything that way. So the postage is really all you have in it, especially if you're reusing envelopes. So my idea now is to send this on to somebody who's watching this video, and I will fill it with an assortment of my coffee dyed and tea dyed papers, avocado dyed papers. Actually, we'll put together the assortment right here when I get it decorated. So stay tuned and comment below if you would be interested in getting in on that deal. And then my idea is that you will then send it along as a random act of kindness to somebody, whether it's someone else that's also watching this video, or someone in the Thistledew Creations group, or whatever group you were in when you found my video. I do share my videos in a lot of different Facebook groups, so if that's how you found me, offer it up to someone who is on the random act of kindness list, or the birthday list, or whatever. Just separate from the usual swaps, as a random act of kindness and a pay it forward kind of thing. I know that I sent an equal amount of paper or whatever to Lauralie when this was a swap. But I just thought I would use this opportunity to start this traveling envelope and the concept of it. I think I got these in a random act of kindness. I love those people. The vintage clothing. Now here was a French one. I think I'm going to save that. So I just go through, I've got drawers, one of those drawer carts, and it sits right behind me and all my scraps go in it. So I just go through and find scraps to fill in I glue them well because they are going through the mail. So I use glue stick and white glue, Aleene's tacky glue, just to make sure that if it gets caught in a machine or something, it's not going to, things aren't going to get torn up. So I just make sure there's no loose edges on the papers. And when I take a piece like this, I'll try to use 2 pieces of it somewhere on here and use it up. And then in the middle, I do have a bunch of labels that I use for mailing. So let me just grab one. Got some really pretty ones that I printed out. I think some of them are I moved a bunch of stuff around because we were having a family party. In an attempt to tidy up my craft room a little bit, I guess I moved some things and I'm not sure where my labels ended up. I got a couple here. Let's see. Even something like this. So I just need sort of a strip here and a strip here. Let's see some of the ones you can find on Pinterest. And I cut them out, print them out, cut them out, use them on my collage envelopes. I'm gonna add some more music because music is easy one to have. I always have strips of it cut. I think I talked about this in one of my more recent videos, is to, if you're hoarding like a pile of old music paper that you intend to use for this purpose, but you aren't using it because you're hesitant to cut into it, let's say. Sit down and just decide one of them that's in the roughest shape. Just take it and say, okay, I am going to cut into this today. And just cut it all into strips or squares or rectangles or a little bit of each. And then store that in a little, whatever kind of bin you're going to use. I use a drawer. You could use, I have also used these stacking meat trays. So there's a bunch of paper, music paper that's sort of just cut in half. Once it's cut in half, I'm going to use it because it can't go back to being music paper, right? So if I at least cut it in half, then I know it's likely to get used. And then for my label, I'll just glue it up really good too. It's something that was holding me back, was having all these materials but not wanting to take that first cut, or feeling like I shouldn't cut into a book because it was a shame to do it. But when I did it and I used it, it gave it a new life. So that's part of the philosophy of this, I think, is that you want to give things new life. And this is a great way to use up the scraps from whatever project you've been doing that day. Decorating the envelope. I like to cover the whole thing, but sometimes I don't. And then the other thing is you have to consider this is adding weight to the package. So another way to do it is if you get one that's fairly plain, you can stamp and stencil on it too, and that is a nice way to decorate it. So I've got this completely covered on the front. I'm going to leave it as just on the front, and the person that I send it to could then do this side or part of this side. You don't have to do the whole thing. But the idea is to change the envelope, alter it again, because you're going to want to cover up the old postage, the old addresses. And then I've allowed myself a space to put the recipient's address here, and I can put mine on the flap here. So I might even add some plainish paper on the back here. And that also reinforces the envelope, because this has been torn open now. This is a little thinner. So I actually have, what do I got here? I've got another little note that somebody sent me, Faye. And I did save it to use it. So I'll take this bit of lined paper. The lines are kind of going the wrong way for what I'm going to do here, but it doesn't matter. I can still write on it. I'll just put that right across there. I don't really want to cover that pretty paper that I stuck in there, so I'll do this, and then I'll just wrap it around. I'm going to glue that down anyway because it's already been wet and stuck. And that just reinforces the flap. I'll do a little more over here with something different, I think. Got a little piece. These are printables that I print 9 on a page, and they're just little tiny, tiny music. I think that's such a nice scale. You see that miniature music. So I'll use that. Here. It's going to cover a little bit, but... And then I can go back and cut off that angle again, just so that the envelope looks proper. So that, I'll put my return address there. I'll put whoever is the first to comment that they would like to do this, that they will pay it forward and send somebody else something and decorate the envelope a little bit more. So we'll call it the Sisterhood of the Traveling Envelope. And we'll form a new sisterhood. So if you would like to participate, comment below. Maybe somebody already has. So I'm going to start with, that was a 20-page swap that I received in the envelope. So let's start with the 20-page swap. And then I will check the regulations for weight. And when I do that, I may add some more things in. So I'm going to start with some green ledger. I've got a couple different kinds of ledger here. Some white background ledger. Try to just give interesting things. Oh, there's some really good textured paper. It's like a woven weave, and it was stationary, like letterhead. Someone had cut off the letterhead, and I had got that at a yard sale. Very good texture on that paper. Now here's some watercolor paper that I have just done an ombre background. I'll share one of those. And here's one that was watercolor with printing, and I've done some coloring with watercolors on that. Because it's a big envelope, I want to send papers, mostly. Keeps the package flat. And we've got my avocado dyed papers. So I'm just going to pick a few out. So here's one that's on cardstock and it's got an imprint of lace. And here's one on paper. That's just rather plain. And then there's a bag that I dyed, and it's got a paper bag. Got the silver design in it. I will save that out of the pile and maybe put something in it. Now in the coffee dyed realm, what do we have? Here's one, a nice dark grunge. Oh, I don't want to send one-sided ones. This has somebody's address on it, so I'm not going to send one-sided ones. I'll use those up myself if they're invoices from work. I don't like to share anything like that. There's one that I coffee dyed and then stenciled. And here's some coffee dyed adult coloring book page. And here's one of my polka dot papers with coffee dye. And there's one with the baking drying rack. It makes like a grid pattern. And here's one. Now this is torn in the middle, but I'm going to send it anyway because it's the type of thing that you'll usually tear up and use it anyway. But it's where I was coffee dyeing and I scrunched up the papers into a ball and put them in a tray with coffee. And then just let them dry that way and then unfolded them and ironed them. It was a fun project. Most of those tore, so there aren't any good ones to share. And then just some simple lined paper out of a notebook. I might be able to send one of these envelopes or these invoices. Some of them don't have information on them, and sometimes the writing fades. Now there's a bit of ledger that's been coffee dyed, and it's got a really cool crease in it because I had to put it in the pan folded, so that crease is really dark. Get some good results with that. What else have I got here? Some painty papers. These ones I was playing with my ink pads, so they're inky papers. And these ones are watercolor, where I used my watercolor, the one with the pearl or metallic finish, and then I stenciled. I really love those, they're beautiful. And then I played with some food coloring one day and made these. This one has a bit of a doily imprint in it. And I think someone may have sent me this. This is vellum that's been coffee dyed. Vellum or parchment or tracing paper, one or the other. It's hard to tell sometimes. When they've been coffee dyed, the texture changes. I don't think it's vellum. Vellum's usually thicker. Okay. And then I've got some yellow or pink paper that was coffee dyed. Let's see here. Oh no, this is tea dyed. That's why it's yellowy. Tea does give you a slightly different color than coffee. So let's see how many pages we're at there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. One more makes it 20. We have one more. I can look through here. Okay, there's 20. And then something that I often do, I have a stack of these folders, and I will put that around everything. And it's a nice, like a file folder type of paper, but it has this thing in it that you can punch 2 holes in your paper and then put them on here and fold the tabs over. So that's a great thing to use as well. A little project that I kind of included for you. So 20 sheets of paper. Something to protect them if you have it. I happen to have a bunch, so I'm including it. And then this will just have to be folded. It's going to stick out too far. And then, like I say, I'll check the weight that's allowed for this size at the lowest price point for the postage. And if there is room weight-wise, I will put some stickers or some other flat things in this bag and include them as well. So, like I said, comment down below. The first one that comments will be the first one to get the envelope. And then if you want to use the list of people that have commented on the video as sort of the next person in line gets it next, then we can do that. And I think that would be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys will be keen to participate. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. But most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.